Patriots Nation, today feels like one of those days when everything starts falling into place, but there's a twist that changes the whole picture of this season. There's a young star crashing into the MVP conversation, a behind-the-scenes decision that may have cost a major reinforcement, an injury that could test the depth of this receiver group, and a potential signing that defines the team's physical identity. None of this is exaggeration. Each storyline hits Foxborough right at its core: the locker room, the fans, and what this team wants to be in January. You won't believe what we've got today. So take a seat, hit that like button, and let's dive straight into it. You know those moments when the narrative flips overnight? That's exactly what happened with Drake Maye. The kid went from promising prospect to a legitimate MVP candidate. Without even throwing stats at you yet, just think about it. His name now stands side by side with two guys who've ruled the league for years. And it's not hype, it's results, it's poise, it's command of an offense we haven't seen around here since the glory days of the Patriot way. But this leap didn't happen by accident. Mike Vrabel rebuilt the foundation, reshaped the system, and gave Maye the protection and structure to grow fast. This partnership is turning into an identity. In Buffalo, he handled noise, pressure, and an elite defense, and came out with a win. Against Atlanta, even behind an inconsistent offensive line, he spread the ball, protected possession, and led a game-winning drive. The critics who said his mechanics needed fixing, that he had to stop throwing off the wrong foot, they've gone silent. And now the national spotlight is catching up. Betting houses and analysts are putting Maye in the top 3 of the MVP race, right next to Mahomes and Allen. That changes how every opponent prepares. Defensive coordinators adjust their calls, safeties creep up, and mistakes start coming from fear. A true MVP presence doesn't just elevate stats, it elevates everything around him. Receivers run sharper routes, linemen hold their blocks a heartbeat longer, and the play caller opens the playbook with confidence. For the Patriots, this is a domino effect. The offense suddenly feels alive. The fan base feels that heartbeat again, that sense that every Sunday means something bigger. Sure, there's work to do: cleaner pass protection, more consistency in the run game, sustained aggression across 4 quarters. But if this is just the beginning for Drake Maye, the rest of the AFC better start paying attention. Because when the Patriots quarterback becomes the story again, history tells us how that ends. And believe it or not, that wasn't even the most shocking part of the day. Picture this: freezing December in Foxborough, wind slicing through the night, the clock draining, and it's 3rd and 1. Who carries the ball? Right now, nobody fits that moment. That's why the talk about bringing in Gus Edwards isn't a luxury move, it's a statement of intent. The Gus bus doesn't need trick plays, he needs space and willpower, one step, low pads, and pure violence downhill. That's the kind of football that wins when the temperature drops and the games get real. Tactically, it's exactly what this team is missing. Too many drives end inches short. Edwards changes that math. He's one of the best short yardage and red zone backs in the league, the kind who turns 4th and 1 into new life, who bleeds the clock when you need control. That opens up everything else. Play action looks more credible, RPOs hit harder, and Drake Maye's bootlegs start burning defenses that overcommit to the run. Want to play 2 high safeties to stop Diggs? Fine. Take 7 straight power runs right through the A-gap until you beg for mercy. There's also the psychological effect. A 230-pound back hammering your defensive front in the 4th quarter breaks morale. Corners pull up, safeties hesitate. Suddenly the field shrinks and the Patriots' identity grows. It's vintage Foxborough football. Tough, cold, methodical, and financially it makes perfect sense. Edwards fits the low-risk, high-reward profile. Affordable, experienced, and productive. He wouldn't limit other moves or squeeze the cap. The message to the locker room would be crystal clear: we finish games our way. No more desperation passes on 3rd and short, no more soft endings, just physical control, old-school dominance, and smart situational football. Critics will say he's not a 60-yard home run threat. That's fine. The Patriots don't need lightning right now. They need thunder. Edwards brings that, a player who wins the tough yards and makes everyone else's job easier. If the front office pulls this off, it wouldn't just fill a gap, it would redefine how the rest of the season feels. And as good as that sounds, there's still something even more intriguing brewing beneath the surface. Here's the storm no one expected: life without Kahan Booty, at least for a while. The young wideout went down with a hamstring injury last week, and it changed the tone in Foxborough. Booty's not just another receiver, he's the structure guy, the one who pulls double coverage, defines spacing, and lets the rest of the system breathe. The moment he limped off, the offense tightened up, and now Mike Vrabel has a puzzle to solve. His solution? Collective adaptation. The plan is to spread the responsibility. More snaps for rookie Kyle Williams, adjustments to formations, and maybe a heavier role for Mac Hollins in physical sets. We might even see Diggs moved into the slot more often to stretch defenses horizontally. Vrabel's confidence in this rotation says a lot about how much he's built chemistry in just 10 months. Todd Downing, the receivers coach, deserves credit too. His cross-training philosophy is paying off right when they need it most. The locker room feels Booty's absence, no doubt. He's a quiet leader, the guy who sets tempo in practice. But now it's about resilience. Williams gets a real shot to prove himself, and his crisp route running could surprise people. The team knows it can't rush Boot back. Hamstrings don't forgive impatience. Better to lose one game than risk losing three. And even with the setback, there's calm, not panic. That's the biggest difference between this version of the Patriots and last year's chaos. They adjust, they believe, and they keep moving. If this offense can stay productive without its number one receiver, it'll prove something deeper, that this rebuild isn't dependent on one star but powered by a system. That's the real evolution under Vrabel. The more interchangeable this roster becomes, the harder it gets to stop. And as this team keeps adapting, there's a whole other story unfolding behind closed doors, one that could have major implications on how teams deal with New England moving forward. Behind the scenes, an entirely different battle has been brewing, and it's not on the field. Word around the league is that the Tennessee Titans refuse to do business with the Patriots at the trade deadline. The reason? Old resentment. Reports say Titans owner Amy Adams Strunk still holds a grudge over how things ended with Mike Vrabel. It sounds petty, but in the NFL, those grudges matter. Picture it. Vrabel, once the Titans coach, now leading a 7-2 Patriots team on the rise. Meanwhile, Tennessee sits at 1-8, veterans on the block, prime trade assets collecting dust, and yet they apparently wanted no part in helping their former coach. Potential targets like Arden Key, Tony Pollard, and Calvin Ridley were all rumored to be available, but none landed in Foxborough. Maybe coincidence, maybe not. Some insiders in Nashville insist there was no real offer from New England worth taking, hinting that Vrabel himself may have decided not to even engage. After all, why deal with a front office still stewing in old emotions? Vrabel knows those hallways better than anyone. He might have chosen to focus on what he can control: his locker room, his players, his results. And here's the irony. Titans fans are now watching the Patriots and missing the man they fired. Vrabel took that franchise to the playoffs, to an AFC title run, and built a winning culture they can't replicate. Now he's doing it again in New England while Tennessee sinks deeper into rebuild mode. That contrast is poetic and brutal. For Patriots fans, though, this story only adds fuel. Vrabel's philosophy, ignore the noise, handle business, is resonating. Every slight, every headline, every rumor just feeds the fire. The league might not want to help New England rise, but that's fine. History says the Patriots don't need favors, they just need focus, and right now they've got plenty of it. So think about everything happening here: a quarterback breaking through into the MVP tier, a power back on the horizon, a receiving core forced to grow up fast, and a head coach turning old grudges into motivation. This isn't just a good stretch, it's the start of something that feels real again in Foxborough. Patriots Nation, do you feel it too? Has this team officially turned the corner back toward dominance? Or is there still one big piece missing? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and share this with every diehard you know, because one thing's clear: the new Patriot way isn't coming back. It's already here.